If you won $1 million, $1 billion, or $1 trillion right now, at this very moment, you would probably lose it all in less than 5 years. And no, this has nothing to do with intelligence. It has nothing to do with effort. It has nothing to do with merit. It has to do with something no one ever told you. There's a game behind the money, a game with specific rules, with levels, and with invisible barriers that separate ordinary people from extraordinarily rich people. There are 7 levels leading up to extreme wealth. 7. And almost no one, absolutely no one, gets past the 3rd grade. Because it's precisely at level 3 that most people discover they've been playing the wrong game their whole lives. They discover that everything they've been taught about money is, at best, incomplete, and at worst, a comfortable lie created to keep you exactly where you are. Pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you, because this could completely change the way you see money from today onwards. Money works in layers. Each layer has its own rules. Each layer reveals something that the previous one hid. And the deeper you delve into this game, the more you realize that you were never taught absolutely anything about it. Before we dive into the 7 levels, do me one thing: subscribe to the channel, because what I'm about to reveal, you won't hear anywhere else. And if you miss this sequence, you'll remain stuck at the same level you're at now. Subscribed? Let's go. Most people think that getting rich is a matter of mathematics. Earn more, spend less, save the difference, invest, wait, get rich. If it were that simple, half the planet would already be millionaires. But it isn't. Because money isn't just a number in your bank account. Money is access. Money is information. Money is power. Money is influence. And each of these elements unlocks at a different level of the game. At level 1, you exchange time for money. At level 7, you buy other people's time and transform that into global impact. Between one and the other, there are 5 layers of reality that most people don't even know exist. And here's the phrase you need to memorize for the rest of this video. The higher you climb in these levels, the more you realize you were never really taught the game. Everything you learned in school, everything your parents told you, everything internet gurus repeat on a loop, these are level 1 and level 2 rules. Rules designed for those who will never leave where they are. The rules at the highest levels, those are different. Those are silent. Those circulate in closed conversations, at tables you'll never sit at, in decisions that happen while you sleep. And it's about these rules that I'm going to tell you now. Level 1. Survival. The first level is where the vast majority of the world's population lives. And probably if you're watching this video, you've already been here, or maybe you still are. What does level 1 look like? It seems like working, paying bills, trying to make ends meet, dreaming about end-of-year vacations, saving up to buy a new cell phone. It seems like normal life. But what exactly is level 1? It's the place where you directly exchange your time for money. Every hour of your life has a fixed price, and the second you stop working, the money stops coming in. Pay attention to this. At level 1, you have no money. You rent out your life in exchange for money. The hidden rule of this level is brutal. Time does not scale. You have 24 hours a day. Those hours don't double. They don't multiply. They don't reproduce. So mathematically, there's a ceiling to how much you can earn at that level, and that ceiling is low, very low. The real problem with level 1 is not the lack of money, it's the lack of clarity. Because the person at level 1 thinks the solution is to work longer hours, get a second job, work overtime, sleep less, and that never works because she's trying to solve a level 2 problem. With level 1 tools, she doesn't realize she's in a mathematical trap. Level 2. Stability. Now you move up a step. Level 2 is the dream of the global middle class. It's where most people who have succeeded in life end up. What does level 2 look like? It looks like success. It looks like life under control. It looks like the apartment is paid off, the car is good, the savings are reasonable, the health insurance is in place, the children's college education is guaranteed. It sounds like everything you were taught to want. But what exactly is level 2? It's comfort within the system. You're still trading time for money. The difference is that now your time is worth a little more. You're a respected professional, maybe a manager, maybe a small business owner, maybe a well-paid specialist, but structurally, you haven't escaped the logic of level 1. You've just found a more comfortable version of it. And here is the cruelest hidden rule of all. Stability is binding, because when you have something to lose, you stop taking risks. When you stop taking risks, you stop growing. And when you stop growing at that level, you grow old within it. The real problem at level 2 is fear. Fear of losing what they've built. Fear of trying something new and going back to square one. Fear of being judged. Fear of seeming too ambitious. This fear is what transforms level 2 into a gilded prison, and that's why 95% of the people who come here die here, comfortable, safe, and very, very far from true wealth. Level 3, awakening, the critical point. Now pay attention, take a deep breath, because what I'm about to tell you is exactly where the game really changes. Level 3 is the level that breaks people. What does level 3 look like? It seems like the time to grow more. It seems like the moment to invest, to start a business, to make money at scale. It seems like the next natural step. But what exactly is level 3? This is the most uncomfortable discovery moment of your life. It's the moment when you realize that effort doesn't explain wealth. Let me repeat that. Effort. No. Explain. Wealth. If hard work explained wealth, the bricklayer who carries bricks under the sun for 12 hours would be richer than the investor who makes one phone call a day. The cleaning lady who cleans 3 houses would be richer than the heir who had breakfast and went back to bed. But that's not how it works. And it is here, exactly here at level 3, that you begin to realize there is a hidden game, a game that no one has shown you, a game with rules that circulate in places you've never been. You start looking at the truly wealthy and notice they don't work more than you. In many cases, they work much less. So, if it's not effort, what is it? The hidden rule of level 3 is the watershed moment for all true wealth. Money circulates in invisible systems. There are structures, mechanisms, and flows that move absurd amounts of money every day. And most people are never even aware of these systems. Capital flows in specific directions. Insider information spreads in closed circles. Decisions that affect millions are made by dozens. And you, at level 2, didn't even know these systems existed. The real problem with level 3 is confusion, because everything you believed about money starts to crumble. All the popular maxims about hard work, merit, honesty as the sole formula for success begin to make less sense. And then the freeze happens. The person becomes paralyzed, because discovering that the game is different from what you were told is terrifying. It makes you angry. It makes you sad. It makes you want to go back to the safety of level 2 and pretend you never saw anything. This is where most people stop, because he realizes he's been playing wrong the whole time, and he doesn't have the courage to start over from scratch with the real rules. What I just told you, many people will go their whole lives without hearing. If this video makes sense to you, do one thing. Leave a comment with the word "I awakened." This comment is a marker. It says, "I saw the game," and leave a like, because that way more people will get here and get out of this level 3. Agreed? Now let's move on to the next levels, because from here on out, the game gets really serious. Level 4, leverage. If you manage to get through level 3 without freezing, without giving up, without going back to your comfort zone, welcome to the place where the game starts to make sense. Level 4 is where things finally accelerate. What does level 4 look like? It feels like accelerated growth. It seems like suddenly the money starts coming in faster than you can spend it. It seems like what used to take a year to happen now happens in 3 months. It seems like magic. But what exactly is level 4? It is the conscious use of systems that multiply their impact. You stopped working with your own hands. You stopped selling only your time. Now you use things that work for you even while you sleep. Capital at work. Teams are working. Brands at work. Technology at work. You understood that a correct decision at level 4 can be worth more than 10 years of effort at level 1. The hidden rule of level 4 is one of the most powerful in the entire game. Wealth comes from leverage, not work, not time, not merit. Leverage. Leverage is when you do something, and that thing continues to generate value after you're gone. It's when your impact becomes detached from your physical presence. It's when you stop being a cog in the machine and become its designer. And here lies the real problem of level 4. Decisions become more important than effort. At level 1, if you try too hard and make the wrong decision, the damage is minimal. You lose a few hours, a few dollars, and start again on Monday. At level 4, one wrong decision can wipe out years of work in weeks. One right decision can multiply your wealth in months. That's why those who reach level 4 and don't learn to think on a different scale go back to level 2 faster than they climbed up. Because now the game demands something no one taught you in school: long-term strategic thinking, the ability to see patterns, emotional discipline to avoid impulsive reactions. Level 4 is brutal for those who arrive unprepared, but he is generous, absurdly generous, to those who understand the rules. Level 5. Access. You have now crossed an invisible line, and on the other side of that line, there's a whole world you didn't know existed. What does level 5 look like? It's like networking. It's like that old saying, your net worth is equal to the average net worth of the 5 people closest to you. It's like meeting important people, attending good events, making contacts. It looks like what any LinkedIn influencer posts every week. But what exactly is level 5? It's entering closed circles. No networking circles, no WhatsApp groups, no paid communities. Circles, closed. Places you can only enter if you're invited. Tables where you can only sit if you already belong. Conversations that happen before the news even reaches the newspaper. Deals that are decided before they appear in any public place. There is a layer of reality where the most valuable information on the planet circulates by word of mouth among people who have known each other for decades at dinners that are not photographed. And you, no matter how successful you were at the previous levels, didn't even know that this layer existed. The hidden rule of level 5 is perhaps the most shocking of all. Insider information is worth more than money, because having information before everyone else is what separates those who bought the right property at the right time from those who waited for the news report to come out. It's what separates those who made the right investment in the right year from those who arrived when the market was already saturated. At level 5, you discover that the world doesn't operate according to public logic. Public logic is the residue left over after the true owners of the information have already taken a position. And here lies the real problem with level 5. Access is limited, and it is protected. You don't buy access, you earn access. It's no use having money if you don't have a track record. It's no use having a track record if you don't have the right people validating you. It's no use having people validating you if you don't have the demeanor to belong in that environment. Level 5 marks the first time in the game that money alone doesn't open doors. It's where you discover that there are things that aren't for sale anywhere, and that those things are exactly what will change your financial destiny forever. This is where you'll understand, once and for all, why the rich get richer. It's not luck. It's not just inherited privilege. It's structure. It's an ecosystem of information, protection, and opportunity that only exists for those who are part of it. And those who are outside remain outside. No matter how hard they work, no matter how much they study, no matter how hard they try. Because level 5 isn't about effort, it's about belonging. Level 6, power. Now we enter territory that very few people on the planet know from personal experience. We are talking about less than 0.01% of the world's population. What does level 6 look like? It seems like a lot of money. It seems like that absurd wealth that appears in magazines on billionaire lists and graces the covers of Forbes. It looks like the top, but it isn't. What exactly is level 6? It's influence. At level 6, money ceases to be the objective. Money becomes a tool, fuel, raw material for something much bigger. Those at level 6 no longer think about how much they have. They think about how much they can move. They think about how much they can direct. They think about which sectors, which decisions, which markets they can influence. A person at level 6 is no longer fighting to earn money. They are deciding where other people's money goes, and that is a difference in nature, not in degree. The hidden rule of level 6 is one of the most frightening when you understand it. Money becomes a tool for control. Those at level 6 control capital, and those who control capital control decisions, and those who control decisions control entire realities. A level 6 decides whether a city grows or dies. It decides whether a sector of the economy flourishes or disappears. You decide which technologies reach the market and which are shelved. You decide which narratives spread and which fade away. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is capital structure. And here's the real problem with level 6: pressure and exposure. Because at level 6, you're no longer anonymous. Every decision you make affects thousands, sometimes millions of people. Every mistake becomes headline news. Every success becomes a target. You have power, but you've lost the luxury of being invisible. And here begins a perverse exchange that only those who reach this level truly understand. The more power you accumulate, the less personal freedom you have. Your schedule is controlled by responsibilities. Your conversations are controlled by lawyers. Your image is controlled by advisors. Your life is controlled by the very weight of what you have built. Level 6 is where many people discover too late that they have achieved what they always dreamed of, and that it's not exactly what it seemed when they were looking from the outside. Level 7. Global influence, and now we've reached the top. Level 7 is occupied by a handful of people on the planet. You can count them on your fingers, literally. What does level 7 look like? It feels like total freedom. It feels like having so much money, so much power, so much access, that you can do absolutely anything. It looks like the game is over. But what exactly is level 7? It's a massive impact accompanied by absolute isolation. At level 7, you are no longer just a person. You are an institution, a force, a symbol. Your decisions no longer affect companies or cities. They affect countries. They affect continents. They affect generations. The hidden rule of level 7 is the most severe of all. On this level, money and power are inseparable, and both come with a price that almost no one is willing to pay. The price is your ordinary humanity. You can no longer walk down the street without being recognized. You can no longer trust anyone without suspecting their intentions. You can no longer have a true friendship without wondering what the other person wants from you. It's no longer possible to be just one person. The real problem with level 7 is devastating, and few people understand this. You conquered the world and lost your freedom. The freedom to be anonymous. The freedom to make mistakes without global consequences. The freedom to simply exist without carrying the weight of what you represent. That's why many at level 7 live surrounded by security, walls, and teams, not out of vanity, out of necessity. And that's why, at the top of this game, the most common question these people ask is no longer about money, it's about meaning. Because when you reach the top floor of the building, you realize that the entire building you climbed was only half the story. What does all this mean to you? Now stop and think. You've just progressed through all 7 levels, from the worker at level 1 to the trillionaire with global influence at level 7. And you probably noticed something while I was talking. At some point in this video, you recognized yourself. You've seen the level you're at now. And perhaps you've seen, for the first time clearly, why you're stuck exactly there. It's not a lack of effort. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's not a lack of merit. That's because nobody ever showed you the map. You were trying to climb a ladder that doesn't exist when the real ladder was somewhere else, with different rules, with different people, in a game that runs parallel to the game you were taught. And the most uncomfortable truth of all is this: most people will die between level 1 and level 2, without ever knowing that there were 5 more floors above, without ever understanding that the real game only begins after the 3rd level, not because they weren't capable, but because nobody showed it, because the system works best that way, with most people believing that hard work and faith are enough. Meanwhile, up there, a very small group plays a completely different game with rules that no one has published anywhere. Now you know that this game exists, and that, in itself, already puts you ahead of 99% of the people who will go through life without even suspecting it. So, before I let you go, pay attention to what I'm going to say. Perhaps the problem was never about money. Perhaps the problem was never your profession, your salary, your city, your family, or your luck. Perhaps the problem is simply that you never learned the game. Now that you know the 7 levels, the important question is no longer, why am I not rich? The question is, at what level am I stuck now? And what exactly is preventing me from moving up to the next one? Because now you have the map, and whoever has the map plays differently. Before you go, do 2 quick things for me. Leave a comment telling me what level you think you're at today. Level 1, 2, 3, or 4. Write it down. I read every comment, and seeing that helps me understand what to bring in the next video. And leave a like too, because that gets this content to more people who are stuck at the exact same levels you were at 20 minutes ago. Now look at the screen. There's a video playing over there. Click on it. Because if this video opened your eyes to the 7 levels, the next one will show you exactly what to do to break through the level 3 barrier and finally enter the game that the rich play. Click on it now, and we'll continue this conversation on the other side.